here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind or the sun or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. Valentine is done here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. Romeo and Juliet, women every day. And Juliet, women every day. Like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper. Baby, I'm your man. La 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 la. La 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 la.
In the hum of her tower, where the silent waves rise, I've traced every shadow where the shadow won't lie. 25 years of chasing the light, to shield the innocent, to set the wrong right. Ryan didn't do it, the data's crystal clear. A tower's silent witness speaks the truth we'll hear. Time in advance, the speed of a star, proves he was not where the knives are. 3 towers align like a jury of steel. Trial adorations, the sword I wield. Ooh. They've twisted the bites, tried to bury the trail, but zeros and ones always rise through the veil. A billion calls logged in the system's cold veins. Their lives just static, this evidence remains. They twisted the bites, tried to bury the trail, but zeros and ones always rise through the veil. A billion calls logged in the system's cold veins. Their lies just static, this evidence remains. Ryan didn't do it, the data's crystal clear. A tower's silent witness speaks the truth we'll hear. Never seen such a scheme, the affidavit scream. Prosecutors play puppets, but truth's in the beam. They think courts can't read what the cell towers trace. This fraud's not a flaw, it's a crime in this case. The signal won't fade, the truth leads the way. So let's all be honest, sincere, sorry.
Good evening, and let's all be honest. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Oh boy. Got some talk about. This is not live. This is a recording. When you're watching this, I'll probably be eating my brisket and potatoes and sauerkraut and all that stuff. Yeah, so I'll tell you what, we've been at it investigating, and there's 3 of us been going at it pretty hard. But we're not ready to release any of that stuff yet. But it's very interesting. It's going to play out. Some of it's going to play out in the next few days. And I'm excited to get into this. And someone touched on it a little bit today, but I think we're going to be digging a little bit deeper. Yeah, it should be kind of fun. Let me get that thing out of there. And there we are. There we are. So anyway, let's get to, what do I want to do first here? Yeah, I want to share this before I get into reading what I want to read. And this is from our old friend Ted. I haven't heard from in a while. And oh yeah, I got to make sure I get the links in the description before this goes up here. Oh, and that song again is by our friend They Live dash 1984. By the time this plays, it should be in the description if you want to look at his songs. They're awesome. Anyway, so I'm going to show you this here quick. And this is from Ted. And then I'm going to do some reading. And this is going to be, I'm going to try to make this a quicker video. I don't want it to go on really long. So, but there's like 9 pages so that I want to read. But there's some really main points in there. So let's watch this. This is called Cy Goes Scorched Earth.
So let's Good morning and happy Part weekend 1. To all. The gloves have officially come off. The honeymoon is over. Cy goes atomic scorched earth season on the prosecution. It's been a while since we talked cell intel, so let's do a critical update so we're all on the same page and get right into it. First up, let's examine and clean up some new false facts floating around. As you recall, there was an assertion by the state that Brian had made 12 stalking or surveillance trips to 1122 King prior to the homicide. In one of the most pivotal moments in this case, Mr. Bill Thompson admitted in the courtroom that Mr. Koberger was not factually stalking any of the victims, that those 12 trips were not supported by Brian's cell data, and put those rumors to bed. Well, history is repeating itself. Recently, FBI CAS specialist Nicholas Balance detailed an alleged 23 trips by Brian to the area of the crime scene prior to the homicides, but did not include any report or analysis to corroborate that claim. Osai is pushing back hard and stating in a sworn legal affidavit that this is 100% false and misinformation. Basically, the state is claiming this evidence, but not able to authenticate it. So if you happen to hear or see these stalking rumors resurface in increments of 12 or 23, both are inherently false, according to Cy Ray, and I'll keep you posted as more facts unfold. Next up, in a very interesting twist on the cell intel, as we pivot to trial, let's talk about those critical 7 minutes. As we know, in January, Ann dropped a Hiroshima bomb in the courtroom, that the PC affidavit was false in terms of Brian's initial trajectory upon leaving his Pullman apartment that night. As we know, the state had his car pointed east towards Moscow, but Ann revealed again that FBI Balance selectively omitted an entire 7 minutes of travel time until 2:54 a.m., and that Cy had determined that Brian was factually pointed southwest towards Wawabai Park, and that this additional data was exculpatory. Recently, we just learned that FBI Balance conceded those 7 minutes and turned over the mapping of those handoffs during that additional.
So, as I had said before, yeah, Balance conceded those 7 minutes and handed them over to law enforcement. So, things that make you go, All right, let's get on with it.
time to the defense. Why does this even matter? It matters because it's damaging to the state, because it puts a dent in their work product. How will the state posture Brian's route to jurors? Will they now concede he was factually traveling southwest to a rural area, but suddenly got an urge to commit a quadruple homicide in Moscow at a home he had never been to in his life? If you think things might have taken a turn for the worse for the prosecution, just wait for part 2. I have saved the best for last. Cy Ray just came in extra hot. He goes postal, nuclear, atomic, scorched earth season on the prosecution. The fireworks are popping off, and I'm here for all of the chaos and drama.
Sizzling hot. Sizzling hot. Yeah, you don't hear much about the guilters saying anything about this stuff, do they? Not many peeps out of them. No, not at all. So let's bring up what I want to bring up here. Or whoops, that's not what I wanted. It's not what I want. This is what I want, I think. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if I can do this here. And I do believe this one. But I want to make sure it's there. And it is. I'll try to blow it up as much as I can. I don't know if you can see that good or not. I have no clue. So, but anyway, so here it is. And blah, blah, blahs. And yeah, okay, so we can just go right on here, and let's just start reading this. Of course, he's over the age of 18, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I have been working in the field of call detail record analysis for over 25 years. I became a certified police officer in the state of Arizona in 1996. I worked with my first set of AT&T records in 1999. I spent nearly 20 years in law enforcement in the primary role of a detective. I have worked hundreds of death investigations and consulted on over 1,000 homicide cases in my career. Let's not forget something here, folks. And to all the Daniels out there and all the guilters out there, 1,000 homicide cases in my career, and he has never once testified for the defense. What does that tell you? Wake up. In my role as a detective, I gained extensive experience in making a video. I'll be back. I'll call you in a bit. Okay. In my role as a detective, I gained extensive experience utilizing call detail records and exploiting cellular networks for investigative-related purposes. In 2014, I retired from law enforcement and started a business called Zetex that created software for law enforcement to map and analyze call detail records. As part of that business, we maintained software that supported every known call detail record provided to law enforcement in the United States. To date, the system has analyzed over 3 billion. Let me say that again. 3 billion calls. from call detail records provided by cellular phone companies in the United States. In 2021, Nexus purchased Zetix, and to date is using and selling the software I created. As a result of this experience, I've worked directly with engineers at cellular phone companies for over 2 decades, and I'm intimately familiar with the type of data they maintain in the normal course of business and provide to law enforcement through a legal demand process. In addition to my law enforcement experience, I have instructed classes on utilizing cellular records in criminal investigations for nearly 20 years. I have had over 30,000 law enforcement officers attend these courses and or presentations on this subject matter. In 2014, I created the first geolocation cellular investigation subject matter expert course in this field, offered to state and local law enforcement officers. As a result of this work, I've established well-known and used best practices within the discipline of call detail record analysis. Over 1,000 law enforcement agencies have attended my courses on the subject matter of cellular record analysis, to include FBI, ATF, U.S. Marshals, DEA, and DHS. Through my work in this discipline, I am regularly... You guilters got anything to say? Who's your experts? Brett Payne? Bill Thompson? I don't know. I suppose he's got 30 years as a prosecutor. Oh, and I'm sure they're going to have their experts. But I'll tell you what he's done with this is just totally unbelievable. And there's no one that has done what Cy Ray has done for this industry. Nobody. Through my work in this discipline, I am regularly consulted by the prosecutor in investigations around the world. As a recognized subject matter expert in this field, I have testified on the matter more than 100 times throughout the United States in both federal and state courts. Apart from this case, all my testimony in this field has been on the behalf of the prosecution. It is only in rare cases and circumstances have I ever considered working on the side of the defense. Ever considered. But guess what? He considered and he testified. In this case, I've worked extensively with time in advance data from the cellular phone network providers over the past 15 years. I've testified to the use of time in advance data numerous times. I have created and taught hundreds of classes on this subject matter to law enforcement. I am extremely familiar with the type of time in advance records available from U.S. cellular providers, their retention periods, and the legal process to obtain those records. Time in advance. Time in advance records are maintained by cellular network providers that provide a time measurement. This time measurement refers to the amount of time it takes. Okay, I'm going to just skip over that. As a result of its accuracy, requesting time in advance data has become a standard practice for all law enforcement. Well, except maybe one town out in Idaho. In the United States, and is regularly requested through legal process relating to criminal investigation. AT&T time in advance. In August of 2021, I was approached by an FBI special agent to assist in analyzing a type of record set identified as AT&T time in advance report, and it was the first time I was made aware of this type of data from AT&T. Upon request, I can provide the date, time, location, and FBI agent I assisted with the record set. As of the year 2021, AT&T had not officially released a time in advance report to law enforcement. Therefore, the ZX software program did not yet support AT&T time in advance records. As a result of this interaction with the FBI, I obtained a copy of the time in advance report from the special agent and forwarded it to our software engineers to write code within the ZX system to support future uploads of this time in advance report format. The next day, I was informed by the special agent that the AT&T time in advance report was not supposed to be released, viewed outside of the FBI, and that individual requested I return the report and not have any software developed to support the data they had shown to me. I did return the report. However, due to the interaction explained here, there is paper trail documenting the facts of this interaction. I have firsthand knowledge of AT&T that AT&T was providing the FBI with time in advance reports prior to August of 2021. During my career, working with call detail records from every cellular provider in the United States, I have been involved with thousands of cases in which call detail records are obtained from these companies, leading the way in the establishment of best practices within this field of investigation. I wrote and provided custom search warrants for every provider and distributed them to thousands of law enforcement officers in the United States, assisting them in legal process of obtaining the vast and ever-growing amount of data sets offered by cellular providers. I have worked with AT&T Global Legal Demand Center, GLDC, for over 15 years. I have firsthand knowledge that the AT&T GLDC is one way, not the only way, for law enforcement to obtain call records from AT&T. Okay, so let's, I'm going to go over. Okay, I'm going to skip over some of this. You know, the thing I want to get to actually on this chain of custody, the state has provided, let me see. No, we need to do this too. During this investigation, law enforcement obtained the following AT&T time in advance data. A, 2 of the victims had AT&T phones. Law enforcement obtained AT&T timing data on both of their phones. Law enforcement developed an early investigative lead in this case. That person had an AT&T phone at the time of the crime. Law enforcement obtained his AT&T time in advance data. C, law enforcement also requested a tower dump consisting of AT&T time in advance data. This request involved AT&T providing all the connections between the 2 cell sites in Moscow during a 2-hour period. The data produced was AT&T timing advance data. In all, there were over 3,800 AT&T mobile phones identified in the time in advance tower dump data. The AT&T time in advance data was obtained by the FBI using an internal source at AT&T, Mr. Boyd Jackson, who is not associated with the GLDC working group. GLT was not used to obtain this data. A forensic examination of AT&T time in advance records in the state's possession show Mr. Jackson's association with the reports. There is work product in the state's possession created by the FBI showing the AT&T time in advance data was not only obtained, but regularly referenced and used in the course of this investigation. Its existence is well known to the investigators and prosecutors. Chain of custody. The state has provided a certificate of authenticity, COA, to defense in relation to the time in advance records described above. The COA was created in April of 2024 and issued by the director of GLDC, Stephen Gordon. I have previously worked with him and I am familiar with Mr. Gordon. The COA specifically states I am qualified to authenticate the records attached hereto because I am familiar with how the records were created, managed, stored, and retrieved. I have personal knowledge that in the event Mr. Gordon was required to testify, he would clarify that prior to May of 2023. Neither he nor AT&T GLDC working group was involved with AT&T time in advance records. Additionally, there is a forensic evidence contained within the records that indicate they were not produced by AT&T GLDC, nor were they produced in the year 2024. In reviewing this data, I contacted and communicated with Mr. Gordon to clarify the chain of custody related to these records. Mr. Gordon and an AT&T legal representative informed me that Mr. Gordon would not be the individual to certify these records if required to do so, despite issuing the COA. In my review of this information, there's evidence to suggest the chain of custody involving these records and COA were produced well outside of the AT&T's normal practice. There is missing information and data associated with this request. The prosecution's prior claims that AT&T time advance data did not exist in 2022 further complicates this issue. In my expert opinion, that any testimony proffered on behalf of the FBI or AT&T on this matter would clearly reveal these issues. Okay, so it really gets in. Let's listen to this. In my review of this investigation, I have read numerous emails sent and received by law enforcement pertaining to their investigation. One such email dated 11/15/2022 was sent to prosecutor Ashley Jennings at her Latah County government email address. This email is from Moscow. Detective Lawrence Maury, the email is informing Mrs. Jennings of Detective Maury's recent contact with FBI Special Agent Balance. S.A. Balance informed Detective Maury that AT&T can provide time in advance data and to make sure it is listed in the search warrant. Detective Maury is specifically asking Prosecutor Jennings to make sure the AT&T timing data is listed in the warrant prior to the report ever being distributed by the working group known as GLDC. Mrs. Jennings did respond to Detective Maury's email inquiring on the specific verbiage needed to obtain AT&T time in advance. This email is abundantly clear evidence that Mrs. Jennings was not only aware of the existence of the AT&T time in advance in 2022, but also shows her intentions to obtain it through legal process from AT&T. This is really saying a lot, folks. This email communication with Prosecutor Ashley Jennings is the same prosecutor, Ashley Jennings, who filed this current and contradictory motion stating AT&T did not produce time in advance records in 2022. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire. I should play my song Liar. That's what I should do. Lie, 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 you're a liar. This is clear and convincing evidence that not only was the FBI able to obtain AT&T time in advance records in 2022, but they did so with the knowledge of the prosecutors involved in this case. This shit is mind-blowing, people. In my review of this investigation, based on my training and experience, it is incredibly unusual that the defendant's AT&T time in advance records were not obtained by the FBI. The FBI demonstrated their ability to obtain AT&T time in advance in November of 2022 by obtaining AT&T time in advance records on over 3,800 mobile devices, none of them being the defendants. When it comes to the location, none of them being the defendants. When it comes to the location data from AT&T time in advance data can be some of the most accurate data available. Additionally, it contains connections to the network other than typical voice, text, or data connections. This allows law enforcement to not only see more data, but more accurate data. Anytime a defendant's locations are in question, a time in advance report would be asked for as a standard operating procedure. procedure. Can you believe this shit, people? Can you believe this shit? Moscow Police Department, by the way of FBI and with the knowledge of prosecutors, demonstrated their awareness of this standard procedure when they obtained AT&T time in advance data on over 3,800 mobile devices. I'm telling you, this is just unbelievable. All this stuff. But, you know, and I'm going to go over this. We're going to be going over this again tomorrow night and on Mod Monday. But it's not going to be just called Mod Monday, if I can even say that properly. It's going to be named here. Let me get back to where I want to go here. It's going to be named Mad Monday Matt Moy, and maybe a couple other names in there. Then we're going to discuss Matt Moy, and that should be a very interesting, very, very interesting night tomorrow night. I can tell you that. So stay tuned for that. How long is this video? I'm getting antsy for my. I know my brisket is done, but I do want to show you this because we're going to get into all this again. I suppose I could start here. In my expert opinion, in reviewing all of the evidence that has been disclosed by this is getting to the nitty gritty here. Yeah, and I go up and I want to read more. It is my expert opinion, AT&T time advance data did exist for the defendant's AT&T mobile device in 2022, and it was requested from AT&T by the investigators involved in this case. The investigators previously demonstrated their ability to obtain AT&T time in advance data in 2022. Failure to produce the defendant's AT&T time in advance data is either a gross deviation from standard practice or intentionally withheld from release and discovery. True, if the mask doesn't fit, you must acquit, right? Huh? If the mask doesn't fit, you must acquit. And this whole statement, everything that Cyber has said, if the mask doesn't fit, you must acquit. Oh, boy. Okay, so anyway. Again, I'll read that again. Advanced data in 2022, failure to produce the defendant's AT&T time in advance data is either a gross deviation from standard practice or intentionally withheld from release and discovery. Conclusion. It is my expert opinion in reviewing all evidence that has been disclosed by the state that a AT&T time in advance record was available on the defendant's phone in 2022. There's overwhelming evidence showing the state obtaining the U.S. and using AT&T time in advance data in the course of this investigation in 2022 on over 3,800 AT&T mobile devices other than the defendants. There is no doubt the author of this current motion, Prosecutor Ashley Jennings, knew or should have known AT&T time in advance data did exist in 2022. She was directly involved in the legal process obtaining it and was aware of work product created from it to further the investigation. The current motion is a deliberate misrepresentation to the court to further conceal false statements used to obtain probable cause against the defendant and conceal exculpatory evidence from the discovery. I am prepared to provide witness testimony and relevant exhibits that support all of my opinions contained in this affidavit. It is my belief this evidence is beyond clear and convincing and will be supported by any competent expert in this field who reviews all of the data. This is not a battle of experts. The evidence supporting the opinions in this affidavit is overwhelming. And let me let's make that yellow. Is overwhelming. In my nearly 30 years of working with and for prosecutors all over the United States, I have never witnessed such a deliberate attempt by prosecutors to mislead the court on evidence in such plain sight. Anyone making such a claim would have to believe the court is incapable of reviewing physical evidence in possession of the state and defense. It rises to a level beyond a simple miscommunication or oversight and is clear of intentional misrepresentation in the hopes to conceal a much larger issue. I respectfully request the court give this affidavit the due attention it deserves and explore these issues further. There. Let me get rid of this. Oh! Oh no. I almost thought I had lost it. That was close. I almost clicked the wrong thing. So, yeah. Cy strikes. Huge. And I can't even believe that it has come to this. And if the mask doesn't fit, you have to acquit. It doesn't fit Mr. Kohlberger. I'm sorry. DT and what's his other name? Hughes, Mr. Gray, and all you people out there. Wake up. Wake the hell up. God dang. We've been saying this shit all along. And it's just time to wake up. And I think all of my family will agree with that. And I think they're tired of it too. We're getting tired of it. It's time to acquit. If the mask doesn't fit, you must acquit. Anyway, I'm going to go eat my brisket and potatoes and sauerkraut and all that good stuff. And I know some of you probably love sauerkraut and some of you probably hate it. You either love it or you hate it. So, yeah, anyway, it is a Sunday, so I'm going to leave with the mellow song. And I wish you all a great evening. Get ready for Matt Moy Mod Monday tomorrow night. Should be a fun one. And until then, again, this is not live. This is not live. It's just a live chat. This is a recording. I love you all, but I love you all. My chatters and my non-chatters and all my subs and my mods, you are the best anybody can have. So, again, until next time, rock and roll. Whew.
The breath that's true. I look to you and I see nothing. I look to you to see the truth. You live your life, you go in shadows. You'll come apart and you'll go black. Some kind of night into your darkness. Colors your eyes with what's not there. Fade strange you never knew. A stranger's light comes on slowly. A stranger's heart without a home. You put your hands in your head and their smiles cover your heart. Fade into you. Strange you never knew. Fade I think it's strange